Hey guys, welcome back to Honey Money SG, and this is the official November 2021 BTO analysis where I'll go through the unit types, site map and loan financing for you so that you don't have to. And this time round we are talking about the Central BTO at Jalan Besar / Rochor area. So if you haven't checked out my earlier analysis on the Central BTO, do check them out in this link over here where I went through the site analysis and the location so that it can help you in understanding the surroundings. So with all that said, let's cut to the chase and go to the official BTO review. Let's go. Alright folks, so welcome to the official HDB site for the River Peaks November 2021 build to order. This is also the first prime location public housing model, or we call it the PLH, so it has additional requirements and terms and conditions built when you are selling your flat. So it's located along Kelantan Road and Well Road, just right next to the Jalan Besar MRT station and the Sim Lim Tower. And it's called River Peaks, right, because it's located right along the Rochor Canal. So we can see that river later. And one more important thing is that they have a lot of amenities built in this project. Okay, specifically River Peak 1, it will come with a supermarket, a residence network center, elderly facilities, childcare center, while River Peaks 2 will come with F&B outlets. Firstly, let's start off with the project details. So the town for this site is actually Central, which is the first time we are seeing a central location BTO. We call it the prime location housing. Now with estimated completion date around second quarter of 2028, that's a waiting time of 71 months, which is really long, right? That's like 7 years, close to that. And selection period between January to September 2022. And for this project, we only have 3-room and 4-room flats. So we don't have those 5-room units with a total number of 960 units. And that's probably no 5-room units because it will be so expensive that people could not afford it. And looking at the town map, we have the nearest MRT being Jalan Besar MRT. And because this is built along the Rochor Canal Road, so that's why it's called the River Peaks, okay? They call this a river. So we take a look at the site map. Alright, so this is the artist's impression of the River Peaks project. You can see that it's really tall. I think it's around 40 stories. This is the existing Sim Lim Tower, and this is your multi-story car park. So from this picture, we can tell that these flats will probably be built above this car park as well. So we are expecting to see some integrated facility at the bottom of these flats. Okay, here is another picture of the artist's impression. So over here you can see that we have the two River Peaks projects side by side, and they are connected by a link bridge. So the link bridge will connect from one multi-story car park to another. Now this is probably from the view of Jalan Besar Road, and then because you can see this Beach Road iconic building over here, right? I forgot what's the name. And this is the existing Jalan Besar MRT station exit A. Now that is linked to a shelter via the bus stop. And over here on the right would be Sim Lim Tower, just to give you all a sense of the orientation. Okay, next up, let's look at the site plan, right? This is the more important thing that I go through in every BTO site reviews. Let's take a look at the site plan. So over here at the top, we have River Peaks 1, and they are block 36A, B, and C. Now 36 is the multi-story car park, and then for River Peaks number 2, there will be block 37. So 37 is the car park block, and then for residential blocks, we have 37A, B, and C. Let's start with River Peaks number 1 first. So block 36A, you can see that they actually have a rental unit. Okay, this unit number is unit 106. So for rental units, they cannot be bought from HDB. You can only rent from it. Details to come by later. Okay, and for River Peaks 1, we have 36A, B, C. Now total number of stories is 47. So that's really tall, right? Really high number of blocks. And then for 36A, we have 2-room rental units, 3-room and 4-room. And then for block 36B, we only have 164-room flats. And then for 36C, we have 83-room and 84-room flats. Okay, and let's take a look at what are the amenities around this project. So we have children's playground, adult fitness station. These are all the general and common facilities. But what we have that is different from other project sites, right? We have restaurant, F&B at first story. We have supermarket at first story. So you don't have to walk too far to find a supermarket, right? So it's just right down at your doorsteps. And we also have elderly facilities and children care center. So that's really convenient for parents if you want to bring your kids or your elderly parents to this kind of facilities. Okay, let's take a look back at the site plan. So over here is River Peaks 2, which is just right above Jalan Besar MRT exit A. Okay, and then we have the restaurants, F&B outlets, and supermarket, right? 7 is for the F&B outlets, 8 is for the supermarket. So for people staying in River Peaks number 2, right, then you'll have a more convenience to the amenities as well as the MRT exit. And let's take a look at the flat density, right? You can see that for each floor there are only 4 units, so you will only have 3 other neighbors, which means this is actually quite a good layout because you don't have many neighbors walking across your corridor, or even a lack of corridor, if I may. And of course you have a 5-story car park with ample parking space. So there is also a landscape deck. I'm not sure what is a landscape deck, but probably it's some garden that can enable you to go and walk your dog and exercise, right? Okay, and then number 11 is the childcare center, which is located at River Peaks A, block 36B. So this is where your childcare center is. Now for my previous video, right, I talked about Stanford Primary School, but one viewer actually highlighted that Stanford Primary School will be merged and removed from this site. So this primary school is no longer your nearest primary school, and you can see this site is really reserved for a future park. And there is a future residential development, which is the existing interim Queen Street bus terminal that takes bus 170 from Singapore to Johor Bahru, Larkin. So essentially this project site is very easy to analyze, right? Prime location, nothing much to say about the location, is perfect, it's superb, but Jalan Besar is a really busy and crowded road, so you will expect a lot of traffic noise from this direction. And if you want to select the best facing units, right, I would strongly recommend you to choose those units that are facing the south direction. So that includes units like 113, 115, 101, 103, 110, 112, 100 and 102. So all these units are facing the south, and because they are facing the south, they would not have the problem of west sun shining through the walls and the doors when it's hot in the evening. So try to pick those units if you have a queue number that is at the front. Well, let's talk about the centralized rubbish chute, right? So this is denoted by the red little squares. So all these red squares are actually not near any residential units. They are more further away from the existing residential units doors, so you won't have the problem of having your unit facing the rubbish chute, right? If not, the smell and the pests are really unsightly and annoying. Okay, with that, let us go through the price details for this River Peaks. Now for people choosing this BTO project, most importantly you want to look at the price, right? Because it's prime location, most likely you will expect some prime location pricing as well. But you can see this time the 3-room flats are actually between 409k to 474k. Sounds really cheap, right? But until you look at the internal floor area, which is just 63 square meters. Not really big, you know. And let's move forward to go and compare the existing resale flats nearby. So River Peaks is around 409 to 474k Singapore dollars with 63 square meters, while existing resale flats are around 490 to 555. So that's a really good deal, but don't forget, prime location housing has a 10-year minimum occupancy period. So that's really a downside if you really want to sell it after the MOP. You have to wait for a really long time. And HDB also provided this income illustration table, which I will use my own one later to show you how you can afford this flat. Don't worry. Okay, 3-room floor plan. So this is a very standard 3-room floor plan, right? This is 66 square meters of floor area, inclusive of internal floor area 63 and the 3 square meters of aircon ledge. So internal usable area is only 63, yeah. So once we enter from the main entrance, we can see the kitchen and utility is on our right side. And do you actually notice something different? There's actually no more utility room door, right? And the walls where you have these windows and doors separating the utility room and the kitchen. So this actually creates more space for the kitchen, right? Because I think those partition is really waste space on. Then now you can have more space to put in your sink, your washer, your dryer, but without the partition, which I don't think is a big deal. I think this is a good change. And for 3-room, it's actually very small, right? We only have 2 bedrooms, one being the main bedroom and one for the common bedroom. Living and dining area is in a rectangular shape, household shelter squarish shape right along the corridors of the bedroom side. We have 2 bathrooms, one connected to the master bedroom and the other common toilet along the common walkway. Now the aircon latch is connected outside the master bedroom toilet as well. So this is just a very simple layout of the 3-room floor plan for this River Peaks 3-room flat. Moving on, let's go on to the 4-room for this prime location housing. So internal floor area is only 86 square meters. So you can see it's quite significantly smaller than your usual 4-room flats, right? Which are around 90 square meters. So 4 square meters smaller, expect the price to be more stable a bit. And the price is actually 582 to 688,000 Singapore dollars, which is lower than my price estimate, right? Because in my price estimate earlier in my first video, I did not account for the smaller space. So with the smaller space, most likely it's gonna be more affordably priced. And if we look at the resale pricing around the area, it's around 630 to 770 for 85 square meters to 91 square meters 4-room flat, while your prime location housing Central BTO is only 582 to 688, so you're getting quite a good deal from there. Okay, and let's move on to the 4-room floor plan. So this is 88 square meters with an internal floor area of 86 square meters and an aircon latch. So this time, if you walk in the entrance, you will see it's quite different from the usual 4-room flats already. Usually we have a L-shaped layout for the living and dining room, right? But this is a rectangular shape, so it's more elongated and there's less space to manage at this side. And then if we look at the kitchen, it's also an elongated rectangular shape, and this time we have the partition again, right? We have the partition door over here at the service yard, which I think is just a useless partition. If you don't want, you could just hack it, but do consult HDB on that. And for the 4-room flats, we have 3 bedrooms, 1 master bedroom and 2 common bedrooms. And then 2 toilets, 1 toilet connected to the master bedroom and the common toilet along the common walkway. So yes, nothing special for this prime location housing, except the internal floor area is a bit smaller than the usual 4-room flats. I think the difference is in the living and dining room, right? It does not look that spacious anymore for a 4-room flat. So you have to take into consideration of the smaller living space despite having a prime location. Okay, so this River Peaks project 4-room have a second layout, and this is the second layout. A bit different, So you see from your entrance, you can see this L-shaped living and dining room. Okay, so your dining room will not be in the view of the entrance, so something more private Okay, and likewise they have 2 common bedrooms and 1 master bedroom. Master bedroom have the toilet attached to it, 1 common toilet. Kitchen wise is now in a squarish layout with the partition to the service yard. So if you want to hack off this partition, go and check with HDB whether you are approved to do so, just so you can enlarge this kitchen. But this layout is really quite unique. So because you can like partition off this kitchen with a door, and then now your exhaust fumes from the heavy cooking won't go into your living and dining area. So that's quite a good layout as well. But other than that, there's also the household shelter right inside the kitchen instead of locating along your common walkway or your entrance. So it does not block your walkway flow, which is really good, right? Because household shelter sometimes is really quite out of the way one, but this time they put in the kitchen, which is good because you can put it for your kitchen storage as well. If you have too many canned food, you can put in the household shelter. It's a good way for survival as well, putting canned food in household shelter. Strongly recommend it. Of course, if you want to select optional component scheme, which is really optional by HDB to offer this kind of floor furnishings as well as internal doors and sanitary fittings, you can take a look at this. So 4.7k for flooring and around 3.1k for internal doors and sanitary fittings. So it's really up to you. So with all that said, let me take you through my numbers for the calculation of the loan financing. So I dumped up a very simple Excel table as usual for every BTO site. So for Central, we have River Peaks 1 and 2. I put in the minimum price and the maximum price, and I will derive the median price, which is the average of these two numbers. So I'm going to use the 4-room flats as an example, right? So between 582 and 688, the median price is 635k, and after we paid the 10% down payment, we will be left with 572k. So with 572k, we go to HDB website calculator, put in your loan amount, which is 572, repayment period of 25 years, which is the max for HDB housing, and then the interest rate loan, I use 2.6%. Now that is HDB CPF loan. So your estimated monthly installment for your loan is $2,595. So $2,595. I put it in the monthly here, and this is how much CPF OA you need combined with your partner monthly in order to afford this flat without any cash top up. And you know that for CPF OA, it is actually 23% of your paycheck, right? Because part of it comes from yourself and part of it comes from your employer. So 23% of your paycheck goes to the CPF OA. So I took 2595 divided by 0.23 or 23%. Your monthly income combined with your partner must at least have $11,300 in order to comfortably afford this flat. Now this is excluding any grants, any stamp duties, any other taxes and additional fees. I'm just trying to keep things simple here. If you have additional grants, then that's good. You can just subtract it from your median price and your percentage loan, and then you have a lower monthly installment. But this is just a generic bread and butter calculation, right? So bear with me here. So I just take monthly income multiplied by 12. As long as you and your partner can achieve 135k of annual income, then you all can say that you can comfortably afford a 4-room flat in River Peaks Central BTO for this November 2021 calculation. 135k is not a small number, so do consider very carefully whether you want a 3-room flat or 4-room flat. And of course, if you choose a 3-room flat, the subscription rate will be much lower because most people want a bigger flat, right? Especially for 4-room. So do consider that. Yeah, so that's just my very simple analysis of the financing loan and the HDB site plan for River Peaks BTO. So if you have found value from my sharing, do comment a thank you at the bottom in the comment section. I'll greatly appreciate it. And let's get back to the video. Alright, welcome back. So I hope that you have gained some value and learned more about your BTO site project. And here are the subscription rates as of today's end date. If you have found value from this analysis, do remember to give a like at the bottom of the video. It just takes 1 second of your time, and it will be better if you subscribe to the channel, and will be best if you share it to your friends as well. Also remember to join our Honey Money SG Telegram group where we go through such project details as well. My name is Christopher. This is Honey Money SG, steering young adults to financial independence.